thing. As you can hear, siblings and listeners, I'm still recovering from the madness, boss. I was talking to the sibling in Atlanta, and he was sniffling down the phone. I was saying, "Yo, Tar, what's the deal's nada?" He's like, "Yeah, sibling. No, true peace. Ain't nothing, boss. I've just got a little head coating." I'm like, "Rotted." I said, "Sibling, I ain't had nothing this year still. I open up my mat and wash it all over myself because a couple days later, I got liquid the thing, boss. Just before the fog came, sibling. Just before that crazy hound from the Baskerville fog was devout, not just for a day, sibling, not just for 2 days. This is over a prolonged week period, going from misty as hell, you can't see nothing when you're driving, to light fog, to it was nutty. And then I'm sure, Mark, you have seen on social media the tinfoil hat brigades. Now, there may be some truth to this. So I'm not going to totally bun it down. They're correlating that fog that wasn't just experienced here in the United Kingdom, in the brains of the beast. It was experienced in the belly of the beast. It was experienced in Europe. It was experienced in India, sibling, where they were so cold, they were burning shit like, what's going on? We don't normally get nothing like this. Snow or fog this. Things ain't going. And now people are saying, yo, we've been sick. All our family's been sick after this fog.
That ain't no tip. That happens for real, man. We know that happens. Man. Because think about it, yeah. People can say the weather change, but the weather change is about properly the back end of October. But if you notice, the sickness really comes in around December/January, where you'll be chatting to people, oh, I got this flu, or oh, I got this cold. So of course they put things out there, man. Because remember, let's really keep it real, even with the pandemic, yeah. Remember, at that time, they were talking about like mask and, you can, and all of a sudden you don't hear nothing about that. And that was only 5 years ago. We'll be 4 years now, innit?
Oh, yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
And remember, they don't say nothing about that now. So nobody actually says, yo, I'm not trying to get COVID. I don't think I've heard no one say, yo, I had COVID or nothing like that. It's like that just disappeared.
Because it's not the talking point now, unfortunately. People are still like, this is not necessarily private. This is more work life. So I'm out and about and setting the work, like the work people, them and the colleagues and, clients. Yeah. I had to isolate. And I'm like, isolate? What? Oh, you got the something? They're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's not really, okay, keep yourself safe, blah, 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 blah. But if you think about it as well, they've got all of those, they're saying how the NHS is overrun by an extra 3,000 bed occupancy and all this because of the something but it's a combination of loads of different things. The utility prices are crazy to the point where people aren't even they're not heating themselves properly, right? They haven't got the money to buy the appropriate food, so they're not nourished properly. So then what does that cause to the body? That causes the body to be degraded, your immune system to not be operating optimally. You know what I mean? You've got the woes of everything that's going on. Stress does so much different things to the body. So no wonder we've got all of these sick people then in the hospital. It's not magic. It's a culmination of multiple different factors, along with madness that they're doing. That's causing people to be sick.
Yeah, 1,000%, because the heating, you gotta look at it like this, yeah. Some people will do that, where they'll say, yo, I just won't have. I mean, British Gas themselves had an advertisement.
Come on, Mark.
That showed that. So yeah, 100% agree with that. People most definitely will try and save money, and in the long run, end up losing, because like you said, this cold ain't good, man. This cold ain't good. Trust me, it ain't good for you. Especially like with me, every time it gets like this, it's like it almost like it pulls the life out of your skin.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's until the sun comes out that you start to get that glow back again. And man will say, you can make it up with the supplements, but not really. Nothing beats the real thing. Supplements are good because I take them too. I got sea moss in this drink right now.
Yeah, man.
See what I mean? But there's nothing better than the real thing.
Of course. But let me just add some more detail to that. You said the sea moss. Now, you're getting the real thing. Some people get some crazy stuff. That's a little bit different. It's still a supplement. But generally, when people say supplement, Mark, they're talking about those tablets with all the bulking agents in there, the vitamin D, the complex vitamins.
Like Holland and Barrett.
Holland and Barrett thing, yeah. Which, again, has a value, but it's not natural. This has been highly processed. We need to be getting to the root of the thing, man. Like, there's so many different... Like, we can eliminate your... Think how expensive Holland and Barrett is. Now, health is wealth, and to be healthy, sometimes it's not free, unfortunately, in this plane of existence and how they got the thing. But you want to get yourself some toothpaste, some soap, some nuts, and da-da-da-da. You can spend £50-60 on 6 items.
Real facts.
Easy. Very, very easy. Versus... Going to your Tesco's, going to your Sainsbury's or wherever, your Morrison's, and buying some green leafy vegetables, some spinach, some kale, you know what I mean, some beetroot, some avocado, you know what I mean. That's packed with shit. That's gonna murk that damn Holland and Barrett some. It's about going back to the most basic one. When we were growing up, what did our mothers and fathers used to do for us? If you had proper parents, they would give us a very balanced diet with carbs, starches, meat, and vegetables.
And fats, Noble, and fats, which is important. That's important too. But what you have to remember, Noble, most individuals in today's world, they're looking for a fix, not a prevention. Yeah. So you have to think, you've got to change your mindset. So when people, what are we on now? We're on the 4th day of the new year, yeah? And most people will have resolutions, which I understand when people say they don't have resolutions for New Year because they change when they need to change. I understand that. But I always try and have some sort of resolution going into this, what they call New Year. But most people, we're on the 4th day now, most people will, I want to do this, or I want to change that, or I want to start going gym, or I want to start doing that. They'll do it until about the end of this month. They'll do it and then realize, damn, I can't keep this up. But what it is you have to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset. So I've seen it myself, you know what I mean? I've seen men who have gotten sick, serious sickness, and then said, yo, I need to start taking this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you should have been doing that 15 years ago if you wanted it to have an effect now. Like, these are things that you need to be doing over time. Like, all that damage you were doing, when you stop now, so let's say you're a man who you drink every night, like you drink Jack Daniels every night, yeah? Every time you're drinking, you've already done, you're doing that damage. So when you stop in 15 years, your body don't just forget.
I know.
You now need to almost give it 15 years of nutrients to combat what you've done to it. So that's what I always say to people, like, I've seen it twice, actually. I've seen a man he's got sick, then he's like, yo, I need to start taking all these things. Sadly, that man passed. Then I've seen another man who just worked non-stop. Yo, I gotta get to this paper. Yo, I gotta do my thing. I'm not ramping, I'm just chasing this paper. Got sick. And then, yo, I'd give anything, you know what I mean? I'd give anything just to have a little, you know what I mean? I've seen it. So that's what I say. Now, like me, I try and incorporate these things standardly as part of my daily routine. Now, I understand what you're saying. These things are not cheap. That's a fact. But you got to just look at what's beneficial to you and implement that how best way you can. Because it's like I always say to man, like, even with life insurance, like when I'll speak to guys and be like, you ain't got no life insurance in it, but it's expensive. And I'm like, but you'll go Nando's twice a month. You know what I mean?
Break that down, Mark. Break that down. So, no, not even break it down.
Yeah.
When they say expensive, what are they talking about? £30 a month? £50
well,
a month?
I mean, it's that if you do it from early. But remember, some man now, they probably got a sickness or something that they've got to declare. Because if you don't declare it and something happens to in that way, it's now void. But what I'm saying is, man will look at it as a bill, like, oh, that's a bill. Whereas you go Nando's and you don't look at that as a bill. So this is what I'm saying. It's all about changing your mind from being a consumer and start spending money that is beneficial. Yes. That's where we need to be at. That's where we need to be at in 2025. We need more long-term thinking. And you know, when we're always talking about ages and stuff, Noble, someone showed me a chart the other day and it broke down all the different generations.
The boomers,
25 to 40. You're in the same generation. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
That means you went to school the same time. That was your big brothers. That was your big cousins. That's your little cousins. That's your big. It's only a man who's beneath that who's in the generation below you.
Yeah.
So now it's about time, long-term thinking. That's what it's all about for 2025. We're not doing nothing short-term. We're thinking about long-term. And this year, it's gonna be our pleasure to combat these narratives that are out there. Trust me, this year is going to be exciting, man. It's going to be very interesting. And just before I